there is just one reality. Encompassing and pervading all without bounds, therefore without limit. Utterly changeless, all alone and all one. Therefore we have heard it said, tvam asi, you are that. You are this. Whatever you are this. You cannot but be this. You couldn't even try to be other than or apart from this. No being could ever be other than, apart from, or beyond this. Therefore, every being that is nothing but a perfect expression of the formless, boundless, colorless, odorless, tasteless, sightless, all pervading, all encompassing, changeless this. Know this truth right now. Know that all modifications are simply apparent movements on the changeless, boundless ocean of this. What has been said so far, we have heard before. It is the basic non-dual teaching. Yet if it is true, then why don't we know it? Why don't we know it in our very hearts? For to know the truth is to realize the truth, and therefore to be nothing but the truth. It is commonly said then that the reason we do not appear to know what we are is because of ignorance. Because of the veil of ignorance, because of the seemingly all-pervasive form of forgetfulness, we lose sight of, or appear to lose sight of, what we truly are. And therefore it must be asked, how in broad strokes do we become or appear to become ignorant of the single, scintillating, all-encompassing, all-pervasive reality? And the answer that often comes is threefold. Firstly, we take the world to be real. Secondly, we identify ourselves, our very aware presence, with the gross physical body. And thirdly, we identify our very being with the finite mind. And so to make the journey home, we do well to see through our ignorance, inquiring into each of these forms, these mistakes in turn. It can feel and seem as if the world out there is real, as if it is like hard, concrete earth. As if it is like a great weight or a supreme obviousness. Yes, we might think the world out there is real. But consider most especially where we have to begin our inquiry. We begin with the fact of our conscious experience. We see sights, we hear sound, we taste foods, we smell scents, and we hear sounds and voices, and touch fabrics. We also think thoughts and experience feelings. This is our conscious experience. In fact, it's not even quite what was said so far. We don't actually think thoughts or hear sounds. Rather, in experience, and conscious subjective experience, there is thinking, there is hearing, there is seeing, and so on. As apparently finite beings, we have conscious experience without which we could have no access to the apparent world, the world as it appears to us. Therefore, how could we possibly have access to a real world, so-called in and of itself? All we ever know is what appears to us. The colorings, the shapings, the soundings showing up in conscious phenomenal experience. The flickerings of appearances coming and going. For this reason, it makes no sense to speak, given the standpoint of conscious experience, of there being a real world ascertainable out there. There is simply in our experience what shows up for us. Therefore, when we go into deep sleep, where does the apparent world go? Even when we go into a state of dreaming, where is the apparent world? No, the apparent world comes and goes. And thus, its reality is borrowed, secondary, inessential, insubstantial. Where does this apparent world go when we are in deep sleep, deep, dreamless, formless sleep? Let it sink in then that the apparent world is like a living dream. And so not really real after all. Only ask yourself, where does this living, waking dream come from? If it is an appearance in conscious experience in the waking state, what is its fundamental basis? On what does the apparent going in and coming out world depend? Let it sink in once again that the waking state is like a living dream, like a shadow. A mere shadow. cast from the light of pure, boundless consciousness. And focalized temporarily so through the finite mind, through the prism of the finite mind. The apparent world partially takes on its outerness through the belief that we are the body, the physical body, or that we are in possession of the physical body. But when I say, I am the body, or I am in possession of the body, who is it that says that? Can the body say I? Can it say anything at all? Can the body think I? Can it think anything at all? Can the body feel I? Or can it feel anything on its own at all? I is what we are directly aware of. But the I of awareness is not the body. The I of awareness shines forth in different states that are not embodied. It shines forth in dreams and in deep sleep. In near-death experiences, so-called, and an out-of-body experience, there is still the light of awareness. What is the source of this light of awareness? Is it the finite mind? In direct experience, though, there is no mind, no finite mind, apart from the arising of thought or apart from the arising of feeling. Hence, in the absence of the arising of thought or feeling, There is no finite mind. But there is awareness. Thus, awareness is not identical with the coming and going of the finite mind. In the absence of mind, I am. And in the presence, the temporary presence of mind, I am. Therefore, who am I? Who is this I that, as awareness, shines forth even prior to and beyond the purview of the coming and going finite mind? Right now, I know that I am. I am aware of my very being. I long not just to be aware continuously of my very being, but also to know so fully at that what I am. The Sufi mystic Balyani has said, "Whosoever knows thyself knows thy Lord." If I know myself, then I know immediately the voiceless, tasteless, colorless, odorless, sightless, boundless, limitless, single, all encompassing, all pervasive reality. And to know myself, all that is required is that I remove every single apparent covering of ignorance. Let me remove the idea right now that the world is not only out there, but also real, really real. Let me remove the idea that I am the body. Let me take that idea off. And let me take off the idea that I am the finite mind. And once I have removed every one of these ideas, let me, in my very spirit, ask, now what here remains? And let me be so humbly open that that question resounds. Yes, what is it that remains? If I stop searching for what is it that remains, then can I just be still? Just be the stillness, the changelessness. May my residual restlessness subside in the ocean of being, in the ocean of beyond being, in the unfathomable presence of the divine essence. May my first and last prayer be heard. May my supplication to the divine be felt on all sides, on all sideless sides, in and out and throughout. May I thus know myself, and thus may I know my Lord, and thus may I be myself, that is my Lord. Thus may I be always what I have always already been. May I knowingly be all that ever is, all that ever has been, all that ever shall be. That is to say, may I be being itself. May I be. This is the only blessing that I ask. And now, let me stop asking for the blessing and simply right now receive the very fullness of being